Homosexuality on the African continent has become such a taboo topic, with many African leaders claiming that the LGBTQIA+ community is something of a Western import and not common to African culture, claimed by presidents such as Uganda's president, Yoweri Museveni. Homophobia on the African continent is actually one that is rooted in the legacy of colonialism, rather than something that is normal on the African continent. Thus, in this video, I'd actually like to depict homosexuality as something relatively normal and relatively common on the African continent prior to colonization. For example, many LGBTQIA+ people used to live in unison with a lot of societies in ancient Egypt as well. As you can see, there are actually two tombstones that depict two men kissing who are known as Nia Kunum and Kunum Hotep, who were two lovers. And there was also the concept of a third gender illustrated in a lot of ancient Egyptian art as well. But not only was this common in ancient Egypt, but as well as African kingdoms. Those who had a much more androgynous expression would actually be seen as deities in many African kingdoms. Then this is something that really shows that LGBTQIA+ people were very much living in unison and also heavily expressed within the societies as well. In the 16th century, you could see that the Imangala people of Angola had actually men dressed in women's apparel and would be kept amongst their wives. You would also see that with the Yoruba and Igbo people, which is made up of mostly current-day Nigeria, they did not have binary ideologies of gender. And actually, they would not even assign gender at birth to babies and would wait until much later on in life. And you would also see that with the Dagba people, which is mostly present-day Angola, they actually never gave gender assignments to those based off your anatomy, but rather assigned your gender based off one's energy. An important story is that of Buganda, current-day Uganda, and the story of its last standing monarch, King Mwanga of the late 1880s. He was actually an openly gay monarch and was actively involved against the Christianity and colonialism that was being brought in by European Christian missionaries. He was actively involved against the colonization of his kingdom and the influence of Christianity and colonialism onto his kingdom's standards and ways of living. Thus, when Christian missionaries actually entered Buganda in the 1880s and they had started to try and convert the people of King Mwanga's kingdom, he would actually order for their execution. And as you can see, this narrative has actually been changed over history as something that has been put into the European colonial lens and has now been brought into the use as to why homosexuality is actually illegal in a lot of African nations today. Thus, this video is marking here to show you that homosexuality on the African continent was very much prevalent before colonization and was not something out of the ordinary. I would recommend books such as Boy Wives and Female Husbands, and as well as Kenyan, Queer and Christian as really good books for you to learn a lot more about homosexuality on the African continent prior to colonization. I'd also recommend joining our Black Queer Feminism tours that happen every Saturday and Sunday. You can use this QR code up here to book yourself a ticket, and I hope to see you there.